Hello, yogis. Welcome back to your mat. My name is Krista, and this is day 15 of our Spring into Yoga Challenge. For today's class, we are going to be doing a nice full body, slow flow, just taking it nice and easy and kind of holding each pose a little bit longer and just really breathing and feeling through it. The only props that you will need today are 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, just a couple couch cushions or some cushions from your bed will do just fine. So we're going to get started today in butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to fall apart, and you can choose how close you want your feet to your body. So the further away, you might feel it more so into the outer hips, and the closer your heels are towards you, you might start to feel it in the inner hips. So you can play with that. Sit up nice and tall, nice long spine. Breathe in through your nose, and then exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips. Just coming into any comfortable depth. Just breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Really feeling the knees sink down towards your mat. Bring a softening across your low back. And we'll just stay here for one more breath in. Nice long breath out. And then bring your hands to the earth and very gently peel yourself away. Use your hands to close up the legs and just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Just loosening up through the hips a little bit here. Just taking it nice and slow. No need to rush today. Just really feeling the body move in each pose, in each transition. And now bring your knees back up through center. Cross at the ankles and just come into a kneeling position. Now, toes can be tucked for this, or you can have the tops of your feet flat on your mat. If you really want to get a nice stretch in through the feet and into the toes, then keep your toes tucked for this part. And then just bring your hands to your low back, interlace your fingers, and straighten the arms, reaching the chest up towards the sky. And just breathe. Nice opening across the chest. Feeling a nice stretch in through the feet. And then slowly start to release, bringing your hands onto your mat. If you have the toes tucked, just gently release them onto the floor. Come into tabletop. Making sure your hips are stacked over your knees. And then walk your hands forward. And then start to sink your chest down towards the floor. With every exhale, your chest sinks a little bit deeper. Maybe you rest your forehead onto the mat. Really opening into the armpits. Stretching out your abdomen. And then to release, very gently push your hands into the mat. Think of rounding your spine. And then slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. Child's pose, bring the big toes to touch, knees together or apart. Keep the arms active as you reach towards the top of your mat and then sink your chest and forehead down towards the floor. Big belly breaths here. And then inhale, lift back up to tabletop. Coming into modified plank, send the hips forward. So there's a nice diagonal from your knees all the way out through the crown of the head. And then bend the elbows towards the rib cage as you lead with the chest all the way onto the belly. Now bring your hands as wide as your mat and a little bit ahead of you. And then just start to push into the mat. Think of pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Squeeze your bum slightly. And then hug the elbows in as you lift, finding a cobra pose. Now the depth of this back bend is going to be totally up to you. So the further away your hands are for this first one, it's going to be less of a back bend. So you might want to just start there. Just slight engagement of the glutes. Think of sinking your pelvis down towards the floor. Think of activating those back muscles right where if you're a woman, maybe the sports bra or bra would lay. Just kind of right underneath that shoulder blade area. And then exhale, roll the spine down. Option is stay at this distance or draw the hands in a little bit closer towards you. Inhale, peel your chest up. Come back to that cobra pose. Yeah, try not to dump into the shoulders. Think of pushing the floor away to get a nice lift out of the shoulders. Beautiful, breathe. And then exhale, roll down. Last one here, option is slide your hands in a little bit closer towards your body. Breathe in as you peel your chest away. Really hugging those lats down towards your hip bones. Breathe. And then exhale, roll the chest down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself back to a child's pose. Just gently release that back bend. Just take a couple deep belly breaths here. And then come back into your tabletop, moving in and out of cat-cow. As you inhale, draw the tailbone up, allow the chest to look up. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck your tailbone between your legs. Inhale, breathe in for your cow pose. Belly will drop down towards the floor. Exhale, let's curl it in, cat pose. And just keep moving with your breath here. You can stay with this movement, or you can start to bring some lateral movements as you shift your hips and your shoulders side to side, maybe looking over towards your hips. Taking your cat-cow into whatever direction feels good for the spine, for the body. Shift your weight forward and back. And then come back onto the belly. Bring your hands as wide as your mat and just slightly forward than your chest. And inhale, start to peel your chest up off of your mat. Finding a twist here. Exhale, dip that left shoulder down. Take your gaze up and over towards that right side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dip that right shoulder down. Take your gaze over towards the left. Inhale, activate those glutes. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale one more time through center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back through center. Last one to the left. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the chest up back through center. Exhale, roll the spine down. Bring your hands back underneath the shoulders and then push yourself back to a child's pose. Release. Roll the spine up, coming into a seat. Shift your weight off to one side so you can sweep the legs out in front of you. And extend both legs out. We're going to find a forward fold here. Keep the legs active here. Keep squeezing the toes towards your face. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, nice tall spine. And then exhale, think of pivoting from that hip crease to fold forward. And if you feel a little bit restricted here, maybe you bring a slight bend into the knees and then reach down towards your feet. And this is still your forward fold. And then over time, maybe you think about straightening the legs, keeping your belly touching your thighs. Yeah, so wherever you are in your forward fold, just breathe. Play with maybe pointing or flexing through the feet, and notice how that changes the sensation in the backs of the legs. Take one more breath in here. One more breath out. And then slowly start to curl the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae. As you come up, engage the legs. Nice tall spine. Press the hands beside the hips. Stabilize, and then exhale, release. Shift your bum forward. Reach for one of your blocks. We're going to come to roll all the way onto our back. So once you arrived on your back, I'm going to show you a series of poses. And you can work with one, you can kind of work your way up to and out of these poses. So really take this time to play with it and see what feels good in your body at this very moment. So to start, just taking your block at its lowest level, lift your hips slightly just to slide it underneath your low back. And option one is just to stay right here. So just bringing a very slight inversion where your hips are a little bit higher than your heart. And this is just perfectly fine staying right here. Option two is you can start to take your feet up towards the ceiling, coming into waterfall. Option three is you can start to bend the knees towards your chest. You might need to adjust the block underneath you just slightly for this one. And you might just want to stay here. Another option you can play with is shoulder stand. So from here, hiking the hips up, bringing your hands to your low back, walking the elbows in, and then feet come up towards the ceiling. Now you can keep a bend in the knees here, or you can extend the legs straight wherever you are in your shoulder stand. You can also play with plow or dead man's pose, bringing the knees towards your ears and then extending the legs behind you to touch the floor. So you play with wherever you want. And I'll give you a couple minutes here, just really exploring whatever shape feels good for your body, with whatever inversion that you need. And feel free to come in and out of a pose. Just do so very slowly, very mindfully. Move in and out of each pose with effort and ease. Just finding this is an inversion for the body to really cool everything down, to bring a sense of calmness into the mind, to really relax the body, calm the nervous system. Wherever you are, just breathe. And we'll slowly start to make our way back down towards the floor. So once the soles of the feet meet your mat, take your time. There's no need to rush, especially if you're in shoulder stand or plow. Stay with your feet on the ground for just a moment and then slide the block out from underneath you. Place your low back onto the mat. Then hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little rock from side to side. And then take your arms out into a T, or find your cactus arms, elbows in line with the shoulders, and then lower your knees down towards the right side of your mat. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, release. Come back up through center. And exhale over to the left. Make sure both shoulder blades stay rooted onto your mat. Next inhale brings you back through center. Give yourself one last hug. Maybe bring the nose up to touch your knees, forehead to knees. And then release everything. To finish off this class, we are going to find supported fish. So if you have blocks at home, you can play with the depth that you would like this pose. So I'm going to bring my first block on its lowest level. And then the second one I'm going to bring on its medium height. So as you roll down, bringing that first block onto your shoulder blades, and then just feel for that second block just to make sure it's underneath your head. And if you're using a cushion it's okay to let your head kind of roll back as long as it's comfortable for your neck. It can bring a nice opening and a nice stretch through the muscles in the front of the neck. So play with whatever feels better for you here, and then extend the legs one at a time, keeping the feet together, or the legs together, and the feet can fall apart. And then just bring your forearms onto the ground, palms facing up. Close down your eyes and really feel a sense of relaxation come into the body as you melt down towards your mat. As you breathe in and out, really expanding the rib cage and the lungs fully, feeling a nice opening across your chest. And I hope your body feels nice and relaxed after this class. Thank yourselves for making it onto your mat and just moving your body. Thank you so much for practicing, everyone, today. And I will see you in the next video. Namaste.